Good morning. Let us move on to the next edition of this introduction to MATLAB. We are learning with MATLAB on ramp, and today we'll move on and study more of the array operations on the vectors. Please remember one thing, that MATLAB is naturally designed to work with matrices or arrays. For example, if you want to add a number to all the elements of an array, all you need to do is to simply say plus and that value. For example, if y is a matrix, it can be of any size, 10 by 10 or whatever. If you want that every element should be increased by 2, then you simply say y is equal to x plus 2. Okay. So let us do some task and understand. So the task is add 1 to each element of v1 and store the result in a variable r, right? So if there is a new variable r, I have to add 1 to all the elements of v1. v1 is already existing variable, so I'll simply say v1 plus 1. Okay. Now let us run this section and try to understand it in a better way. Now what is this v1? v1 was originally uh, let me run this section so that you understand it better. Okay. So v1 was originally a matrix of a size 7 by 1. Okay. So there were 7 rows and 1 column, and now we are adding 1 to that. So if you add 1 to that, all elements will be increased by 1. So all these values are increased by 1. So this can be done. It's very simple. Simply add a number to the matrix. New matrix will be with all the values incremented by that. Let us do the next task. Now it is asking us to create a vector Vs, that is the sum of vectors v1 and v2. So I want to create a new matrix Vs, which is the addition of matrices v1 and v2. Now v1 and v2 are both column matrices. v1 and v2 are both column matrices, that means column vectors. That means they are having only one column and same number of rows. So if the matrix sizes are matching, you can directly use plus sign and do this. Okay. So if I implement this, I'll run this section. You will see that there is a new matrix Vs which is created, which is addition of v1 and v2. Okay, so this matrix is addition of v1 and v2. Only condition is that v1 and v2 should be of the same size, right? So in array operations, whatever matrix operations you do in mathematics, so whatever terms and conditions apply there, same terms conditions apply here. Let us do the next task. You can multiply or divide all of the elements of an array by a scalar. So if you are given a matrix and if you want to multiply every element, just now we have added 1 to all the elements. So let us say you want to multiply every element by 2 or divide every element by 3. That can be easily done by using simple star or forward slash. Okay. So the task is create a variable va that contains the value vs divided by 2. Okay. So if I want a new variable, I will have to type that name. So the new variable required is va is equal to what I want. It should be vs divided by 2. So vs we have already created. I will simply use this for divided by 2. I'll run this section and you see that all the variables, all the elements of vs are divided by 2. For example, the last one was 9.5710. If you divide it by 2, you get 4.8755. So this way you can multiply or divide by a scalar. Scalar means a single number, right? So let us submit this and move on to the next task. Next task is, we can also apply the basic statistical functions to a vector to produce a single output. For example, if you want to find out the maximum value of a vector or a minimum value of a vector, etc. So we can use the inbuilt functions of MATLAB to do these operations. So in this task, we are asked to create a variable Vm containing the maximum value of the Va. So let me write the new value Vm is equal to, I'll use the inbuilt function max of Va, right? So Va is a vector which is already existing. Out of these in Va we have 7 values, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 values. we want only one value, which is the maximum value. In this case, if you see, the maximum value is 7.4406. So when I run this, I should get that answer. I'll run this section and I'll check whether I get the same answer or not. Yes, I am getting 7.4407, right? So this is the max function which can be used to extract the maximum value from a vector. Similarly, there are various more functions, like mathematical operations can also be performed. For example, if you want to find out the square root, or if you want to do the round, that can be done. So if you want to find out the square root of all the values in a vector, you can use the sqrt function, right? Let us do this task. Using the round function, create a variable named vr which contains the rounded average volumes va. Okay, so round function will, let us do this task. So this round function, what it will do, it will simply round these values and it will clip the it will round to the nearest integer. So round up, right? So let me do this. I'll write vr is equal to round va. Let us run and see what happens. So you see, so vr is earlier was 2.2877, now it has become 2. Why? Because anything above 0.5 will be converted to higher number. So it is 4.4, it will be retained as 4, 2.6 will become 3 and so on. So it is rounded up. Okay, so above 0.5, after the decimal, next number, below that the original number. This way it is rounded. Okay, so this way there are so many inbuilt functions in MATLAB which can be utilized. So for example, if you want to take the absolute value, that also can be done. If you have a matrix with plus minus values, if you only want to retain the absolute values, apply ABS function, all the values will be absolute, right? The star operator performs matrix multiplication. So if you use star to multiply two equally sized vectors, okay, you will get an error message. If you use a dot star operator, it performs the element wise multiplication and allows you to multiply the corresponding elements of two equally sized arrays. So in this case, if we go to this particular case, yeah, let us say if you multiply 3, 4, star 10, 20. Now these are equal size matrices, but you cannot multiply equal size matrices, right? You have to remember the matrix multiplication condition. The number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to number of rows in the next matrix. So that is required. So if you apply star, you will get error. If you apply dot star, it will multiply element by element. So 3 will be multiplied with 10, 4 will be multiplied with 20, right? So let us do this task now. We want to create a variable mass. So I'll type mass equal to containing the element wise product of density and VA. So I'll write density dot star VA. So this dot star will ensure that the element by element multiplication is happening. I'll run this section. So you got mass as the multiplication of every element of density and VA. So I hope that you have got the difference between the star and dot star. Star is for actual matrix multiplication and dot star is for the element by element multiplication, right? You can also multiply different compatible sizes. So for example, if you have a matrix, let us do this task. X is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and star this. So what will be the output and what will be the size? So let us try this. If I run this, I get X as 1 2 6 8 15 18 28 32. So what has happened in this case? So X is basically a matrix 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It is a 4 by 2 matrix, and we are multiplying this 4 by 2 matrix with a 4 by 1 matrix. That means every row will be multiplied, the first row will be multiplied with 1. So this 1 and 2 will be multiplied with 1. The second row, that is 3 and 4, will be multiplied with 2. So we get 6 and 8. The third row will be multiplied with 3. So we get 15 and 18. And the fourth row will be multiplied with 4. So we get 28 and 32. I hope you have got this, right? So array operations is basically what you do, matrix multiplication, etc. These same things are done in MATLAB as well. Only thing is, you have to remember the difference between the star operator and the dot star operator. The star operator is used for matrix multiplication and the dot star operator is used for element by element matrix multiplication. Okay, so let us move on further. Let us move on to the next task now, obtaining multiple outputs. Now in this setup, the data matrix is given to us, which is a 7 by 4 matrix, 7 rows and 4 columns, and we will be working with this. Out of this, V1 is data colon comma 3. Colon, if you remember, is for all the rows, and 3 means third column. So V1 will contain this third column and V2 will contain the fourth column, right? So this you have to remember. Now the size function can be applied to an array to produce single output variable containing the array size. So if I want to find out the size of a particular matrix or an array, then we can use this particular thing, okay, size function. So we are asked to find out, create a variable named dsize containing the size of the data variable. So I'll write dsize equal to size in bracket parenthesis data. So when I say dsize is equal to size data, it will return a vector because it is a matrix. So matrix will have two sizes, rows and columns. So it will return a vector with rows and columns. Okay, let us check this. So when I run this, I get dsize equal to 7, 4. So 7 is the number of rows, 4 is the number of columns. All right. So remember, this size is a very useful variable in programming. Let us go to the next task. The size function can be applied to matrix to produce either a single output variable or two output variables. If we use the square bracket, we can obtain more than one output. So for example, the output which is given by the size variable 7 and 4. If you want to save these in some name, that can also be done. Now, for example, let us go to this task. Create the variables dr and dc, which respectively contain the number of rows and columns of the variable data. So in many times in the programming, will be required to find out that in a matrix, how many rows are there and how many columns are there. Okay, so in that case, you should use a square bracket like this and name the rows with some name. So here I have given the name as dr. You can use any name, x, y, z, whatever. Okay, I am writing dc just to indicate the number of rows, number of columns. Okay, you can use x, y, z, anything. Equal to size. This is the standard function name, so this has to be used as it is. In parenthesis, you have to specify the name of the matrix of which you want to find out the rows and columns. So here I am specifying data. Okay, and let us check whether this works. So when I run this section, I'll get the output with dr equal to 7 and dc equal to 4. Why? Because dr is storing the first value. So the first value, this 7, this is the first value. This is stored in rows. 4, this is stored in columns. Right? Let us submit this task and move ahead. Next task. The maximum value of a vector and its corresponding index value can be determined using the max function. See, now many a times what happens that we not only want to find out the maximum value, but also want to know what is its position. This is very important. Okay, we not only want to know the maximum value, but also we want to know its position. So this can be used by writing the vector in this format: x max comma idx equal to max of x. So when you write max in bracket the variable name or the matrix name, it returns two values. One is the maximum value. First value returned is maximum value, and the second value which is returned is the index of that. Index means the position of that, right? So let us understand this more by doing this third task. It is asking us to create the variables vmax and ivmax containing the maximum value of v2 vector and the corresponding index. Okay, so again I will use a square bracket. First I'll write Vmax, because this Vmax is just the name that I'm giving to the maximum value. Okay, and Ivmax, again this is a name which is given to the maximum value. Here again you can use a comma b or anything. These variables have no meaning as such. This is just to indicate, but this max is the keyword. This has to be used as it is, and in parenthesis you have to write the name of the variable from which you want to find out. So I want to find out for v2, so I'm writing v2. Okay, let us run this section and check what is the output. So I got Vmax is equal to 10.1570, right? So 10.1570 is basically the highest value of this fourth column. If you look at the fourth column, the highest value is 10.1570, right? So that is the maximum value, and Ivmax is 5. Now what is this Ivmax? Ivmax is the position of this maximum value in that matrix. So if I count from top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth position is having the maximum value. That is why Ivmax is 5. Alright, so this has to be clearly understood. Okay, that the maximum value is given by the first variable is giving you the maximum value, and the second one is actually telling you the position where that maximum value lies. Okay, if we only need the second output from a function, if we are not interested in the first output, then we can use the this symbol, tilde symbol, to ignore specific outputs, right? For example, you might only want the index containing the maximum value. So density is equal to this. So this tilde comma Ivmax equal to max v2. So it will simply ignore the first value. It will only give you the second value, right? But this is not recommended. You better extract both the values, and whatever you want, that you can utilize for your purpose, right? Now let us move on to the next section. So we are almost through half of this MATLAB on-ramp program. Now moving on to the next section, this is about obtaining help. Now this is something which everyone needs. You always need help. So if you are worried about a particular function, if you are not understanding a particular function, you can simply go to MATLAB help. Okay, so here in the editor right now, which I am accessing at home, I have this help, and then in this help I can click on the function name. For example, just now we have seen the max function and minimum function, etc. So if I say max, I simply type max, it will tell me what are the functions which are available, right? So if I click on this, I'll get the idea about that max function and some example also. It will tell me with the examples, it will tell me how we can use a maximum function, what are the different outputs that we can get, how to calculate the index, etc. So this is a very handy tool in MATLAB which can be used anytime, right? So this has to be kept in mind. Now let us do this task which is given here. Now we are asked to, in this task, we have to create a matrix X that contains random integers in the range from 1 to 20, and it should have 5 rows and 7 columns. And we are asked to use the documentation for this function random I. So how do I do this? So I'll simply go to help. In help I'll type a random I, and then I'll check what are the functions which are available. Okay, so I'll get the first function I'm getting here is random I, and how it is used. So it is given x is equal to random I max comma n, sz1 szn. Okay, so this is nothing but it returns an array sz1 by szn, okay, of size. For example, random I 10 3 4 returns a 3 by 4 array, integers between 1 to 10. So that is what we want, right? We want a 5 by 7 array with integers between 1 to 20. So I'll write, so my answer will be x is equal to random I, random I in bracket, how many integers I want? 20. What is the rows and columns I want? 5 comma 7. Okay, so this is how you can use the help in MATLAB, and by using the help you can create the you can get the answer whatever you want. So we get this 5 by 7 matrix with all values between 1 to 20. This is a random matrix. Okay, so this is how you can use the help, right? Let us look at the next task. You can also open the documentation using the doc function, and directly you can open it. For example, if I type doc random I, okay, it will open that doc, or I can simply type for example, I want to find out the documentation about the max values. So I'll simply type doc max, and I'll run this section. So it will open the documentation for max, right? So you can use both the commands. Of course, it is easier to go to the help and find it out. And believe me, whatever I have learned in MATLAB, this program I am taking for you to understand, for so that you can also see how MATLAB works and run on your own. But the way I have learned is by using help in MATLAB. So the help in MATLAB is the best supporter for you whenever you are learning. And second thing, you have to keep one thing in mind: no one can claim that he or she knows MATLAB entirely, because it is basically a library of programs. Okay, and the library of programs will depend on what kind of work you want to do. So based on the work requirement, you can do different things, right? So it's up to you to search for it, and whenever you need a particular function, just go to its help and find it out. Okay, so let us this is almost 50% of what MATLAB on-ramp program is. After this, we have very good sections, interesting sections like creating graphs and plots. So we'll be moving on to these from the next video. Okay, so thank you for your patience listening.